Hello, good afternoon, everyone. And just giving everybody a few minutes to tune in. What's up, Chris? How you doing, Mr. Smith? Good to see you. Hello, everybody. Good afternoon. It is your girl, Lady Mocha, your diva in knowledge, your queen of spiritual awareness. Thought it would be a very imperative that I did a quick video today concerning an issue that has been going on within generations and generations of many families, or should I say, more specifically, black families. That's good. I'm glad to see you. Glad to hear from you, Chris. Thank you for dropping by, supporting me as usual. I appreciate your presence. Same for all of my Cafe de Paris subscribers. Thank all of you for tuning in. I thought it was very imperative that I spoke on this topic for the issue that, unfortunately, this is an issue that has been going on in many black families from generations to generations. And this is a subject that a lot of us don't care to discuss. A lot of us, have been taught this one simple rule. This is one simple rule that every black family has been taught. And all of us have heard it at some time. And the saying is, whatever goes on in this house stays in this house. How many of us have heard that? That whatever goes on in this house is going to stay in this house. And the thing I would like to address with that is good, but it's bad. It's bad that is good. And it's good. Let me start off with the good. A lot of times you have to be protective about what goes on in your house sometimes because people can be pretty judgmental. When you open your world, when you open yourself up and you overexpose too much of what's going on in your house, when what's going on within your family issues, sometimes, you make yourself naked. You make yourself naked when you're a little too open with your personal family issues, with your personal family secrets, because every family got a damn secret. Don't let nobody fool you. Every household has a secret. It's been things going on generations ago that your mama will probably never tell you, that your daddy would never tell you, or they'll tell you, but they'll give you their own version. Because again, it's all about, protecting that family secret. It's about protecting that dysfunctional foundation that a lot of these black families, and the reason why I'm speaking on black families is not to single out our race. I could only talk about black families because I'm a black woman. I can't relate to other families because I have not been raised in a black white family, Puerto Rican family, so I cannot address those type of families, okay? So anytime I say black people, black women, black families, I'm only speaking on a level that I can relate because I haven't grown up in houses, in other homes with other races. What's up, Simply Deep? Thank you for coming in. Again, like I stated before, every family has a secret. It's a lot of things that have gone on generations ago that people have learned to sweep under the rug. Things that has happened that Big Mama is not going to tell you. Big Mama is not going to tell you that Granddaddy Earl, did a lot of corrupt things back in his younger days, which has transcended from generation to generation. And you wonder why the family has so many problems. There's a lot of deep-rooted secrets that are going on within these black families. And a lot of it has, unfortunately, transcended into these generational curses. And the reason why we have these generational curses, ladies and gentlemen, is because we have learned that whatever issues we have, not to deal with them. We have learned to sweep these issues up under the rug. We have learned to keep our mouth closed and not speak on things and not speak on issues that have, unfortunately, created a lot of spiritual warfare within these black families, okay? Now, first off, we use the word generational curse a lot. A lot of people has no idea what generational curses really consist of. I'm going to break down the elements of that. What a generational curse is something that has occurred in your family tree. it's an issue that has occurred or transpired. And it could have been an issue that occurred generations ago. It could have occurred back when your descendants and your ancestors was alive. You wasn't even thought about yet. But these deep-rooted spiritual issues have already been planted in your family tree. And what's starting to happen is, as each generation transcends, this same curse keeps repeating itself in every generation within the black household. You know why? Because that monster has not been defeated. That spiritual curse has not been removed. It is still staining the family tree. It is still staining the black community because, again, it's that generational curse. I could break down some of these generational curses because, again, the majority of black families have some type of dysfunction. And in some cases, it is your fault. And in some cases, not your fault. Because, again, a lot of these generational curses, this seed was planted in your family tree from generations ago. And there's been a lot of secrets, a lot of lies. There's been all type of corruptive things that have transcended within the family tree that, again, a lot of us have been taught to keep our mouth closed. We've been taught that what goes on in the house, it stays in the house. We've been taught to be silent about it. We've been taught to be silent about these generational curses. I'm going to name a few of them. You may have it in your family. You may not have these type of generational curses within your family. But I'm going to break down some of the elements of these generational curses that have been transpiring within the black community. First generational curses, there has been, yes, I'm going to say it, it's the spirit of sexual abuse. We have the spirit of sexual abuse has transcended in a lot of black families. We don't want to talk about that because it's embarrassing, it's hurtful, and it opens the doors to a lot of issues that's very touchy, that's very uncomfortable, and we don't want to talk about it. We don't want to talk about it, and because we don't talk about it, this spirit keeps transcending from one generation to the next generation. A lot of y'all, if you haven't personally gone through it, you know a family who has personally experienced that type of dysfunction of sexual abuse. Rather, if it was the father of the home who has sexually molested or abused his own children, maybe that was an uncle, maybe that was a friend of the family. This is a generational curse that has been going on in a lot of black families. A lot of black families. And a lot of it comes from the fact that people know this problem exists, but they do not have the courage to approach the person who has created this problem. I know people who fathers have has caused this type of chaos to their families. It's been uncles, it's been the mother's boyfriends. And again, we don't want to talk about child molestation. We don't want to talk about that because it's too embarrassing. It's a lot of black women who are walking around here messed up mentally, emotionally, and physically, and you think she's just crazy. And in some cases, some black women are just crazy as hell. Some of them are narcissists. Some of them are bipolar. Some of them are schizophrenics. But to give y'all more deeper spiritual insight, a lot of these women have been molested. Molestation has occurred in a lot of these black families. It has happened a lot. It's a lot of women who walk around here, look normal, dress good, got nice positions, own their own companies, own their own businesses, and can't keep a relationship. You wonder why a woman so attractive or a woman that's so well educated, why she has a hard time keeping a relationship, or men are not sticking with her or not dealing with her. A lot of it has to do with there's a lot of issues she has experienced as a child. She has not gotten any psychological help for it. Because again, a lot of it has to do with all of these family secrets within the black community. There's a lot of dirt. It's a lot of corruption. It's a lot of things that have happened within these black families that a lot of people, again, like I said, we don't want to talk about it. We don't want to address it. You know, as far as molestation, I want to go a little deeper into that because before law enforcement got really deep into cracking down laws, and before these laws came out that started cracking down on these pedophilers or these sexual predators, there was a lot of this has transcended within many families because the laws wasn't really cracking down on stuff like that. So granddaddy, Uncle Charles, Uncle Earl, a lot of these men within the families that have committed these type of offenses, a lot of them never went to jail for it. A lot of them never really got punished for the simple fact that these molesters have taken advantage of, the younger women within the families who they know had no control over the situation, who they knew, who had a mother who wouldn't defend them, wouldn't take up for them. A lot of this stuff happens in a lot of these black communities. What's up, Deon Covington? Thank you for coming in. What I'm talking about is these dysfunctional families and generational curses. It's a lot of dysfunctional families that are walking around here because there's a lot of issues going on within these black households that nobody is addressing. And part of dysfunctionality has a lot to do with the way the family dynamics have changed, okay? There's really no leaders that are leading these families, okay? The dynamics have changed. And one of the problems is there's too many single-parent households. There's a lot of single-parent households, and that's one of the reasons, that's part of the reason dysfunctionality has emerged within these families, because there are not too many men that are leading these households, unfortunately. It's more women that are leading the households than there are men. And that has a lot to do with the dysfunctionality of these families, because we have too many women and not all women. If it does not apply, you don't have to reply. But there is the majority of cases where a lot of black single mothers who are not mentally stable, who are not like I said, mentally stable, they're not able to really function as far as being the lead of the household, because women, we cannot wear two hats. We cannot be a mother and we cannot be the father. Despite what society wants us to believe that we can do it all by ourselves, we cannot do it all by ourselves, okay? We have, when we try to play man and woman and we try to wear two hats at the same time, this is where slowly but surely we set our families up for failure. Because we do not allow the men who have that masculine balance to be a part of our children's lives, to keep that balance there. When you strip a child of that masculine balance and you decide you want to be mother and you want to be father, you're creating, slowly but surely, you're producing that generational curse. You're producing that seed within your family tree, because again, you are basically taking it upon yourself to wear both roles, and you cannot play both jobs. You cannot be the man, you cannot be the woman. Same thing for a man. A man can't play the role of being a man and a woman. It takes a woman to somewhat be involved in his life, especially if it comes to having a child, to give that child a balance. Again, we're talking about dysfunctional family and family curses. As I stated, the dynamics of families have changed, okay? We have too many mothers out there who have sons and who are basically creating their sons to be menaces to society. It amazes me how many full-grown women have sons who live in their households that do not work, that do not pay the bills. And you have a lot of women that are okay with their sons not being men. And what I'm starting to notice is that there are a lot of women that are using their sons as substitutes for husbands, okay? It's a lot of women that are using their sons to take the place of having husbands, and a lot of it has to do with the fact if they can't get a man, or they don't have a man in their life, they automatically think they could use their son as a tool to compensate for that. Okay, and they're not understanding that you're not making your son a man. What you're doing is you're getting ready to make your son become another woman's nightmare. If you're not teaching your son how to be the man of the house, for all of these women out here who have sons and you are not allowing the father to be in their life because you have whatever personal vendettas or animosity towards towards your son's father, realize that you are going to create your son to be spineless. He's going to become another woman's problem, because basically what you're doing is you're creating a mama's boy. You're creating a mama's boy. And I see it too many times on social media. I'm constantly seeing women going on social media bragging about their sons like their sons are their husbands. You know, talking about how fine their sons are, how good looking their sons are. I can't speak for everyone, but to me, that's a little dysfunctional to me. I don't think a woman should be praising on her son as if he's her husband. There's a fine line between that. It's one thing to compliment him and be proud of his accomplishments, but at the same token, you have to be very careful that sometimes it can come off incestuous. You know, the way some of these women brag on their sons, the way they talk about their sons, and, you know, they call their sons their man crush Monday, and how good looking their sons are. I mean, you know, it's something that's kind of strange to me, you know. And again, this is one of those dysfunctional family units that we have to be wary of. We have to be cautious of. We also have to deal with the fact that there's a lot of single mothers who are not preparing their daughters and teaching them how to protect themselves, you know. And it's unfortunate that a lot of these young women today are becoming mothers at such a young age because their mothers are celebrating the struggle. Their mothers are actually proud to be grandmothers. It's a lot of women around here that's not even in their 40s, and they're proud to be grandmothers. They're proud that their 16-year-old daughter is bringing a child in this world. They're proud that their 15-year-old, their 13-year-old daughter or son is getting ready to make them a grandmother, and they don't have a problem with it. What's up, Hershey Kiss? How you doing, lady? Thank you for dropping by and hanging out with me here at Cafe de Paris. We're talking about dysfunctional families and generational curses. It's a lot of dysfunctional families within the black community because we have lost the structure of family. Okay? Back in the 60s, back in the 70s, we didn't have as many problems as we had now because there was always a man and a woman that was leading the family. We had that balance. We had the man and we had that woman that was leading the children. But the problem is, due to welfare and all of these other man-made laws that have came out, when child support and everything, the dynamics of family has changed. The dynamics of family has descended because we have strayed away from that, because welfare, child support, all of these other governmental devices has made us believe our children don't need fathers. Our women don't need husbands. We have learned to just settle with just, you know, we have made being a single parent the norm of most black households. What's up, Samuel? Thank you for stopping by to Cafe de Paris. We're talking about dysfunctional families. A lot of it has to do with the dynamics have changed. Back then, black families stood together no matter what. No matter what. That man and that woman, regardless of what problems they had, they learned to fight it out. They learned to not give in a towel, not throwing a towel, to fight for their families, to keep their families together. These days, black families are not sticking by each other. It is not happening. Okay? Women are giving up. Men are giving up. Black folks are not fighting for family no more. No, we're too busy. If anything, we're too busy fighting each other. But we're not fighting to keep the families together. We're not fighting to keep the families together. And that's why, and that is the reason why the dynamics of family has changed, okay? You got these young men who won't go out and get a job, who won't go help their mothers pay the bills. I know women who got grown sons, 18, 19, 20, 23, still living with them, and that their grown son, they have babied that son, they have pampered that son, they have enabled that son to just be as sorry as he wants to be, basically because the man is not, his father is not in his life for whatever reason, if things didn't work out with him and her, whatever the case was. And what I've started to notice is what some black women are doing, not all black women. If it does not apply, do not reply. Some black women feel guilty for the fact that the father is not there to play a position in the son's life. So what they do is they allow that son to just be sorry. They don't push him to be better than what he is. They don't motivate him to be better than what he is. It's a lot of black women that are enabling their sons to become another woman's burden instead of enabling their sons to become another woman's blessing. Now, this is not just for the sons. It's the same thing for these black women out here who are raising their daughters. They're not raising their daughters to be another man's blessing. They are raising their daughters to become another man's burden. I do not understand for the life of me why these black mothers, not all, if it does not apply, you don't have to reply. Why are some of y'all so proud that y'all daughters have become mothers before they earn their own first college degree, before they even graduated high school, before they even got married? Why is so many black women celebrating the struggle? Why are we applauding our children for failing? Why are we so quick to throw baby showers as soon as we find out we're about to become a grandmother? Okay? Why do we celebrate the struggle? Yes, Samuel, and I just mentioned that. I said it's not just it's not just women who are raising their sons to become another woman's nightmare. It's a lot of women who are raising their daughters to become another man's nightmare. She's going to go out there into the world and become another black man's problem. Because for one, she's going to have so much baggage. And it's unfortunate that a lot of these young women are creating a lot of baggage for themselves before they even get out there in the real world and learn how to be independent and learn how to be self-sufficient. And a lot of that has to do with the dysfunctional foundation of these families. Okay? These mothers are celebrating their children's struggles. Why are we proud to be grandmothers before we even 40 years old? Why are we proud that our sons and our daughters are getting ready to bring another life into this world, and they don't even have a GED? Half of us have children who can't even read, who haven't even graduated from high school, okay, who don't even know how to fill out a job application. And we are proud. We are quick to celebrate. We are quick to praise our children once they make us grandmothers, not even understanding that this is another individual that's been born or created into a chaotic situation. Absolutely, League of Dads. Also, if you guys ever get a chance, if you need any advice with child support, having any issues with child support laws, hit up the League of Dads Unplugged. He specializes in that area. So for all of you guys or all of you ladies who are having issues with child support, you want to get some assistance with child support laws and rules and regulations, he is the man to see. League of Dads, he specializes in that area. So check him out if you have any issues regarding the things I just mentioned to you. We are proud of the struggle. And again, a lot of it has to do with the dysfunctional families. You have to look back into your family tree. If a lot of us took the time to do some self-evaluation, look back into your family tree, you will see a lot of the things that you are going through, it has already occurred within your family tree. Your mother has gone through it. Your father has gone through it. That tree has already been, that seed has already been planted. And if you don't do anything different, you're going to create that same seed is going to reproduce itself within your household. Okay? If you do not detect the curses that are within your family tree, you're going to have those same problems. Not only are you going to have those same problems, your children are going to have that same problem, and your grandchildren are going to have that same problem. That same curse is going to keep repeating itself until somebody deals with it. Okay? For example, in my family, I put my own stuff out there. Divorce runs a lot in my family. Divorce, that has been a curse, unfortunately, that has, been very deep rooted within my family, and I'm not ashamed of it. I think it's a blessing because at the same time, it's brought other people into my life. That's been a blessing for me. But the truth of the matter is, that is a generational curse within our family tree. Every woman in my family is just about on her third or fourth husband, just about. Divorce has transcended starting from my great-grandmother to my grandmother and so forth. It has transcended within my family from generation to generation. Okay? And so far, and I'm not bragging by any means, but I'm the only female in my family so far who has been in my same marriage within 18 years. Okay? My thing is this. If you can identify the curse that is within your family, it is up to you to change that curse. Either you're going to change that curse or either you're going to keep that tradition alive. Okay? It's up to you. You're the only one that's going to be able to change it. Okay? As I was stating, there's a lot of every family has a secret. Every family has secret. It's all kind of things that has happened within our households that a lot of us don't want to deal with. A lot of us, we don't want to talk about it because it's too embarrassing, and a lot of us, we got too much pride. We want to make it seem like we have it all together. We want to make it seem like we know what we're doing. We got it all under control. When in actuality, we don't have anything under control. If anything, it's the generational curse that's controlling everything because nobody has dealt with it. And we basically are broken up behind the same thing I told the same guy. What I know, woman, same thing. Mr. Williams, reiterate on that for me. What was it that y'all had broken up about? I'm just trying to get a little clearer understanding on what you're referring to. Yes, Darius. Yes. We have a problem with, distinguishing the difference between confidence and arrogance. It's a lot of black families. Y'all know y'all got so many issues in y'all households. And y'all will not deal with these issues. Y'all won't go get any spiritual guidance. Y'all won't get any psychological help. Y'all want to sit up here and act like nothing is going on in y'all household. And there's a lot going on in your household. You got children that are out of control, that are disrespecting you, that are constantly in and out the system, and you're not dealing with these problems, because I've realized the key to a lot of these households, people are more concerned with protecting their image than really getting the help they need. We are so concerned with our image. We want to look like we got it all together. We want to look like we got it going on. Nobody wants to say, you know what, I'm in trouble. My son is in trouble. My daughter is in trouble. My husband is in trouble. My wife is in trouble. We won't, as black people, we won't go confide in each other when it comes to these families. And I get it, because like I said, the dynamics of family has changed. Family does not look out for each other anymore. Family will burn you quicker than a stranger in the streets. Because again, it's all about protecting yours and yours only. Back then, families were taught to always look out for each other. You didn't just look out for your son. You didn't just look out for your daughter. You looked out for your nieces. You looked out for your nephews. Everybody looked out for everybody. Okay? But the dynamics have changed. The dynamics of family have changed. People are only looking out for what's theirs and what belongs to them. They don't care if they got a family across town with their lights off, still in the streets, or whatever the case is. Family don't look out for family anymore. But at the same token, some people, you just cannot help them. Some people, there's just no help. There's just no hope. Some people, no matter how much help, no matter how many times you are there for them, some people are never going to change. And you have to learn when to put yourself out there to look out for family and when to hold back. Yeah, Devonna, that's exactly my point. It's all these secrets within these black households, molestation, drugs, alcohol, abuse, physical abuse, sexual abuse. Everybody know Uncle Earl been beating on Aunt Linda for years. And nobody won't say nothing about it. Nobody won't do anything about it. Everybody just turns a blind ear. It's a lot of these, and that's why we can't get healed. A lot of families cannot get healed because they are not willing to be open with the issues that are going on within the household. As I always state, God cannot heal what we don't reveal. If you want to act like nothing is going wrong, you want to act like everything is peachy keen, how are you going to be delivered from, how is your family going to be delivered from those curses if you want to act like those curses don't even exist? I mean, how do you plan to even be free? How do you expect your family to grow, to be blessed, to get in a better, situation if you're not trying to change the current situation? It's going to continue to stay chaotic. It's not going to get any better. I cannot tell her anything. I tell her all the time that her daughter is very disrespectful. Oh yeah. Excuse me. You know what? This is one of the problems with a lot of black families. We don't like somebody telling us what to do with our children. We don't like for somebody to correct our children. And we don't like for people to tell us what to do with our children. And the sad part is I've never seen so many mothers be hell bent with the fathers of their children and not want to take the advice of their child's significant, the other parent. Why would you not want to take heed to what the other parent has to say? Why would you not, want to gravitate or accept any type of advice when the father or the mother is giving you some constructive criticism on, hey, your daughter getting out of hand. Our son is getting out of hand. What is the problem to where we have too much pride, to take constructive criticism? And I guarantee you, Samuel, you know who is going to come back and bite? Because the mother of your child is allowing the daughter to be disrespectful, it's going to go back. It's going to bite her. It's going to bite her way more than it's going to bite you. And I'm going to tell you why. Because your daughter is under her custody, okay? She's under her care. And whenever it comes to the primary parent, meaning if you have primary custody, if the child is with you the majority of the time, 9 times out of 10, whatever you don't teach that child is going to come back and haunt you. It's going to come back and bite you. I think she does this because I don't have children. Okay, so Samuel, so you don't have any children, but basically she was telling you about how disrespectful her daughter is from the previous relationship. So was this somebody, I'm assuming, was it somebody you used to date or somebody, ex-wife or something like that or whatever? Yeah, common sense. Once welfare, once food stamps, that became a part of the system, it's a lot of women who don't feel like fathers have a significance in their children's lives. And that's far from the truth, because let me tell you something. When these children get out of hand, they end up in prison or they end up getting killed. Somebody murders them based on their lack of respect and their lack of morals. And what ends up happening is, the mother then wants sympathy. She wants sympathy and she wants empathy when their son or their daughter gets themselves in a very bad situation. But being that you did not allow anyone to intervene before that child got out of hand, this is the product that you have produced. And it's a lot of women who are paying a price for not allowing those fathers to be there and have a role in that child's life. Because, again, I can speak on it. My daughter's 16 years old. And I went through a really rocky stage with her when she was 14, 15, You know how that stage is. They're going into puberty. They're smelling themselves a little bit. They still, they're in that adolescent stage where they're trying to learn themselves. And I really, really went through a very rocky stage with my daughter to where she was being disrespectful. She was getting out of hand. I had school teachers calling me every other day. It was just a very rocky period. And it came a point to when, I had to, a lot of things I tried to keep away from my husband because I wanted to deal with it in my own way. I wanted to try to discipline her and structure her within my own way without him intervening. And I paid the price by not allowing him to intervene. Because by the time I did allow him to intervene, my daughter had gotten so far out of hand, so it made our work 20 times worse trying to get her in alignment. And that is what a lot of you black women are not understanding. If you are a black mother and you know your child, your son, your daughter is out of hand, you're going to have to put your differences aside, bunk how you feel about that man not wanting to be with you, not wanting to have a relationship with you, or any of that. What you need to realize is your child needs to be saved before it's too late. And the only closest thing to that child, other than you, that's going to help you to get that child in alignment is you're going to have to allow that other parent to be there. Point blank. I don't care if you got a daughter, because daughters need their fathers too. Brother, if you got a son, son need their fathers. We have to allow both parents to be there. When you allow your selfishness and your attitude to get in the way and your bitterness to intervene, as far as you allowing your child to have a connection with that father, you are blocking your child's blessings. That's what you're doing. You're blocking your child's blessings because, again, I was in that situation. And when my husband intervened, that was the biggest relief off my back. Because I struggled trying to, fight and wrestle with trying to get her back on deck. And it took her father, because this is the truth, ladies, whether y'all want to hear it or not, I'm going to say it. Children respect manly authority more than they expect your feminine authority. I'm going to be honest with you. Women will scream or holler and cuss all day and still can't get that child to respect them no more than they've been respecting them. But it's something about a man's authority. A man's authority. When a child hears that masculine authority, it makes a big difference. We continue to, and finally got our kids smoke after 9 months. Okay, good for you, common sense. We continue to put, exactly, Darius. But some men and women don't want to be involved. But laugh with his the other parent. I'm trying to maybe I'm reading too in depth to what you're saying, Devonna. Kind of elaborate on that a little bit for me, because I see where you say, but some men's and women's don't want to be involved, but laugh when she sit the fan for the other parent. I don't know if you're insinuating like some parents intentionally don't want to be involved, and then when they see the parent go through with the child, then they kind of like rub it in their face. I'm trying to see if that's the direction you're going. I'm just trying to make sure I understand where you're coming from. But it's so many dynamics to it. But at the same time, let me tell y'all something. Some of y'all make it too difficult for the other parent to want to be there. Some of y'all make it too difficult. It's hard to want to have a connection with your child when you have to deal with a beast. And you got to go through all kind of headaches. Unfortunately, Devonna, I'm getting so many comments coming so quick, so sometimes I can't read it as slow as I would like to. But okay, so I am giving a second. Sometimes our parent don't want to be there, and it's more than one way to look at it. Sometimes a parent will intentionally not be there for the simple fact that you have disrespected them. It's been some parents that have disrespected the other parent that wanted to be involved, or they have bucked the parent who wanted to be involved. Like that parent would try to get involved and say, hey, our son, our daughter is getting out of hand. You need to do this and you need to do that. and that other parent says, I know what I'm doing, don't tell me how to raise my child. See, it's stuff like that that make other people do not want to be there for their own child. When you have to deal with a parent that's insubordinate, uncooperative, nasty, bigoted, overbearing, over-controlling, abusing their rights as the custodial parent, in some cases, it makes you not even want to be there for the child because it's too much drama you have to go through to connect with the child, especially if that child is not old enough to speak for themselves. Like if that child is under 5 or 4 years old, then you're definitely out of gas. Or in some cases, the child is old enough to speak for themselves, but they're so brainwashed by the other parent. So the custodial parent teaches that child that they don't have to respect the non-custodial parent, when that is the worst thing you could do. The worst thing you could do is teach your child that they do not have to respect that other parent. That is the most dumbest thing I think any woman or man should ever put herself in a position of making that child believe they don't have to respect that other parent. You are setting yourself up for a disaster, because what you're doing is, what you're not understanding, ladies, because there's more ladies that do it than gentlemen. So I can't ride the gentlemen as hard as I want to. But I know some of you men do it. But the majority of you women, y'all think it's acceptable to teach your son or your daughter to not have any respect for their dad, based on the strength that they are not trying to be with you like that. And what you do is, a lot of these mothers, they don't know how to separate their anger and their animosity as far as what's in the best interest of the child. A lot of women do not know how to do that, because a lot of women do what's called displaced anger. If we're angry about one thing, we want to put it in whatever we're angry about, we want to place it where it does not belong. Just because we're angry with the father, we're angry that things did not work out, or we're angry with the fact that he has moved on and it seems like he's doing better, or he's in a better place or whatever, we allow the happiness of that man not wanting us to eat us up like cancer. We allow it to eat us up like cancer. A lot of women cannot handle rejection. And because they cannot handle rejection, they automatically use it. They use their children as a pawn in the process of trying to prove a point. Okay? And the reason why I say it's dangerous for women to teach their children to disrespect the other parent, because what you're doing is you're sending that child mixed signals. If you're telling the child, you don't have to respect your mama, you ain't got to listen to your daddy, you ain't got to do what he tell you to do, he ain't paying no child support, you ain't got to listen to him, whatever it is you're saying, what you're doing is you are programming that child to not respect authority, because the father is supposed to represent authority. Whenever you are a parent, you are supposed to represent authority. If you're a mother, you're a father, guess what? You are authority, whether you want to be or not, because you are the one who brought that child into this world. So when you teach your child to not respect or to not acknowledge, especially a father who wants to be there. Now, I can't speak on it if the father has no connection, no relationship. That's a whole nother story. But these men who are involved, who want to be involved, and you teach that child to disrespect that man as their father, and he is the one that's supposed to have authority over them, then guess what? You are sending signals that it is also okay for that child to disrespect you, because also you represent authority. You represent authority. If you are teaching me that it's okay for me to disrespect my dad, then eventually it's going to be okay for me to disrespect you. And I know it sounds silly for me saying that, because I know a lot of people thinking, well, how would my child disrespect me when I'm the one taking care of them and I'm the one who telling him or her who to respect and who not to respect. Then eventually they're not going to respect you either, because again, you're teaching that child to not respect authority when you and the father both represent authority. And it's happened in so many cases. I've seen so many women who have made it acceptable for their child to disrespect that dad. And when that child got out of hand on them, when that child got flip mode and disrespected them, and they no longer could do anything with them either, now you want the father to step in and intervene. And you cannot, it does not work that way. You cannot only expect these men, or you can't expect the mother or the other parent to be there. How's that child going to learn to receive the other parent when you have taught that child that they don't have to? Yeah, I'm telling you, Williams, it has become a generational curse. It is so many men and it's some women who want to be a part of their children's life, but the other parent has abused that authority. Well, I'm glad, Common Sense, that you did take the initiative, because let me tell you something. Being a parent, it is not easy. It is one of the hardest tasks on this earth to be a parent. So I commend you for not having too much pride and not thinking because you're a man and you got ego, I'm too good to go to a class. That's very big of you, and I give you kudos for that, because again, that's the problem with black folks. We got too much pride, honey. We ain't about to tell somebody we lost. We ain't about to tell somebody we got our children are out of control. I can't do nothing with them. I'm gonna tell y'all something. When my 14-year-old, well, she's 16 now. When she was 14 years old and she got out of pocket with me and her dad, and we both joined forces, and we saw that even joining forces, we still could not get her to be where we needed her to be. What we did was we put her in a group home. I took her to a group home, and I spoke with that administrator there, and I basically told them the situation, that my daughter was out of control, and me and her father have done all that we can do, and now it's time for us to take it to the next step. I had put my daughter in a group home. She was in a group home for like 3 weeks. In the group home, we was able to visit, and she was able to make calls here and there, but she didn't have no cell phone. She didn't have the same freedom that she had when she was at home, because we had to show her, we had to teach her who was boss. We both had to come together. And I will tell you parents something. When both parents come together and join forces, that is the best blessing a child can have, when they have both parents and neither one of y'all are going against each other. It's hard for them to pit one against the other. That is you are definitely going the right direction when you got two parents that are on the same accord. That is a blessing, because 9 times out of 10 that child will not stray when they got both parents that are on the same page. You ain't got to be in love to be on the same page. You don't have to like each other to be on the same page. But when that child sees, I can't buck my mom against my dad, I can't buck my dad against my mom, that child has no choice but to straighten up and fly right. And that's what happened. When my daughter saw she wasn't going to win between either one of us, that is when we gained control. That is when me and her father, we gained control, is when we both had joined together. And we didn't try to one go against the other, or one, she come to me and I go against what he said, and vice versa. We both had to be on the same key. And that's the problem with a lot of these black families, is that the mother and the father is not on the same key. It's too busy. We're too busy using our children to spite the other. And women are the strongest candidates in doing that. And that is something I did not want to do, but we had to put her in group home to let her know, to make her see where she's losing her blessings. You don't think being in your own house, having your own TV, having your own food, you don't appreciate the luxury of that? Okay, well, I'm going to go ahead and put you in a group home. Yeah, they have them here in Savannah, uptown. The only thing is, though, sometimes it's a waiting list, as you could imagine. But the group home was really, really good. Not only that, the group home provided parenting classes for me, and I made sure I went to the parenting classes. They also had conferences between me and my daughter. They taught us how to communicate better and everything. So, black folks, it's a lot of opportunities. It's a lot of tools out there and devices we can use to become better parents. A lot of us are just too lazy, or a lot of us, we got too much damn pride. I was going through so much with my daughter. I was desperate. I wanted help. I wanted somebody to help me. I was willing to take any advice I could take because that's how desperate I was. I didn't have time to have pride and say, oh, I ain't trying to hear it. No, because I had to realize what was more important was my daughter's well-being. And that is the problem with us children, with us parents. We have to learn to put our children first. Later, always focusing on the child support, focusing on, well, he got this new woman or she got this new man. We don't have our priorities in order. That's basically what I'm saying. It can be used as safety. I agree with that, Darius. But too risky in this days. I'm not running the system. Oh yeah. I let me tell you something, Cam. I will kid you not. Yes, being a parent, I tell people it is no joke. It's serious. It's nothing to be played with because these children, even the best parents that got the best intentions, sometimes your children can still go astray on you. They can go astray. It's a lot of parents walking around here who never thought their child would murder somebody else's child, and they did. There's parents around here who thought their child would never molest somebody's child, and they did. Hell, there's some parents who never thought their own child would kill them, and they did. The best thing as parents, only thing you can do is definitely, make sure you keep God first and foremost, and you just try to teach your children the best you can. Teach them right from wrong the best you can. That's really all you can do. Because at the end of the day, eventually they're going to become grown. They're going to make their own decisions regardless of what. We could only do but so much as parents. That's why it's imperative that we'll have both parents. We allow both parents to be in these child's lives and cut out all this foolishness, this baby mama drama, this baby daddy drama. People need to learn how to get on the same accord so these kids could grow up and have a decent life and become productive citizens. Hey T193, thank you for stopping by. Yeah. Talking about dysfunctional families and generational curses. Don't forget those thumbs up, everyone. I appreciate it. Thank all of you for coming in to rock out with me this evening. I appreciate you. Yeah, we're talking about dysfunctional families and how the dynamics have changed. Women are not raising their daughters to be women. Fathers are not raising their sons to be men. We have lost our children. And one of the reasons why a lot of people have lost their children is because we have too many too fast. You have too many too fast. You have children young, you 16, 17. The odds of you raising that child the right way is slim to none. You have 4, 5, 6 of them. You have so many. It can become overwhelming. Hell, just one child could be a lot. You go to having 3, 4, and 5 of them jokers, and you don't have the financial sources. You don't have the mental stability and capabilities of being a parent. You're going to bring children in this world that's going to become menaces to society. Like I said, the dynamics of family has changed. You women are not raising your daughters to be women. You allow your daughters, to be all in your mouth, to hear your conversation. Some of these women are allowing these daughters to hear them bad mouth all men, talk about men like dogs. When you talk about stuff like that around your daughter, do you realize you're programming her to hate men? Do you realize you're programming her to disrespect men? You're programming her to hate men based on your bitterness and based on your poor choices that you made in men. How many women will keep sitting up there saying all men are the same but won't say, I keep picking up the same man. What are the odds of that? What are the odds of a woman saying, yeah, I just keep picking up the same men? No, you'll say all men are the same. We're not teaching we're not sitting down and keeping it real with our daughters. We glamorize the struggle. We make them think it's okay to be a mother at a young age. We make them think it's okay. You don't have to be educated. You don't have to have no wisdom, no knowledge, no understanding. And you end up seeing your daughter go through the same thing you go through or worse. I don't understand some of these black women out here. You know what it's like to raise children, especially you've been a single mother. You know it's hard. You know it's not easy. You know the struggle. So why would you not prepare your daughter to not get in that situation when you done experienced it? I strongly believe, ladies and gentlemen, that often God will allow us as parents to go through certain things to teach our children. That way they don't have to go through it. A lot of y'all have already witnessed the struggle. You've already witnessed, being to the bottom, and you would not give your children any wisdom, any knowledge, any spiritual awareness, and they go right out here in the world and they do the same thing you done did. I agree, Mr. Black Culture. Thank you for coming in. Family is the foundation. It is. Training starts from home. The problem is with black parents, a lot of us have gotten lazy. We got all these kids and we don't want to be bothered with them. They cost too much money. They cost too much time. And I understand how some women, you sit out, you go out here and you produce all these children and you don't want to be bothered with them. You want to drop them off for somebody to babysit. And it's a lot of, women around here who got attitudes because nobody won't keep their kids. Family won't keep their kids. Friends won't keep their kids. I seen a girl on social media, went slap off. I went on Facebook, because I have my little channel on there too. And she had the audacity to be going slap off about her family not helping her with her children. She was talking real reckless, saying, yeah, nobody won't help me with my kids. So much for family. And family ain't shit and da-da-da. Excuse my French, but that's what she said. Family ain't this, family ain't that. F everybody. I'm going to do me and my kids is straight. I'm like, well, hell, if you and your kids are straight, then why are you on Facebook screaming and hollering and ranting because nobody won't keep them? Sit up here and produce all of these children, and then when they get here, you do not want to be bothered with them. They get on your nerves. They're aggravating you. They're costing you too much money. You aggravated because, you having your children randomly from men who you didn't have a relationship with, you didn't have a connection with, and you want them to connect with you now that y'all have a child. If it wasn't already a connection there, 9 times out of 10, it's not going to be a connection afterwards. Exactly, Devonna. Shouldn't have had, but the main ones who have them. It's always, y'all notice that? It's always the more poorest people that have the most children. It's always people who ain't hardly got no money, who ain't hardly get no help. You don't have no sources. You don't have that type of family support. But them the main ones that have the most children. The ones who really don't get that much help. If I've seen it once, I've seen it 1,000 times. It's always the ones who know they get no support. Who would get pregnant every year. No, they don't have no help. No, they don't have no money. How you going to work and you can't afford to put all those children in childcare? How you going to work? How you having all these children when you know your mom and your daddy, your family aren't going to keep them for you? I'm going to tell y'all, that's the reason why I only had one daughter. I knew I ain't had it like that. I ain't had it like that if they have no 5 or 6 kids and I can drop them off on any and everybody. I knew. My first daughter, my only daughter, I got all the help. Everybody always helped me with her because it was just her, So I was always able to drop my daughter off to my mom, my husband, people, my in-laws, because it was just her. Anybody want to keep one. But when you start having 2, 3, 4, and 5, you pushing it then, It's a lot of them out here doing that. And they want to resent the world because nobody wants to help them. And they want to resent the fathers. 9 times out of 10, you knew what the man was before you had any children from him. You knew what he was. You knew. You knew the man didn't like to work. You knew the man already had 4, 5 other baby mamas. You knew that. And yet you will still spread your wings, and bring another child in this world that's going to have to be caught up in the chaos. Yeah, Cam. That's exactly what it is, They screw first and ask questions later, and it's sad. It's sad. People do not care who the hell they have children from. They don't care. They do not care. You going after somebody physically because of how they look. You going after the big butt, the smile, the like they said, the 2 S's, the shape and the smile. You go behind the shape and the smile, but you ain't checking that goddamn brain to make sure she not a narcissist or dysfunctional. And you wonder why. Now you see how much of a mess she is now that y'all have a child together. You would have saw that from the beginning had you got to know her from the jump. And the same thing with these women. I tell women all the time, if a woman gets pregnant, it's because she wants to be. Bottom line. I can't blame a man for women getting pregnant. The only way I'm going to blame a man for getting a woman pregnant if he lied to her and told her, if you have this baby, I'm going to be here for you. If he sat down and promised her he gonna be there and the child was produced and he left her now, I fought him on that. But for you women who around here who intentionally getting pregnant on purpose because you want to try to trap somebody or you want child support or whatever your motives are, or you trying to take him away from another woman you think want him, because women do all kind of malicious, conniving stuff, especially when they get desperate. And they really want to be with that man. And the man has really displayed how much he's not willing to be with her like that. Some women, not all women, but some women will pull some desperate measures, And unfortunately, the children get caught up in the midst of it. The children get caught up in the chaos, And again, that a lot of this, that's why we have what's called dysfunctional families. Children are coming here out of lust, not love. This is not love. What a lot of people have to realize is when you lay down with somebody unprotected, realize you are giving that man or that woman power. You give a person power over your life when you do not protect yourself. When you don't protect yourself sexually, you give that person a lot of power. You make yourself very open to them. If you lay down in the raw, this is somebody that's going to potentially be the father of your child, potentially be the mother of your child. If you know this is somebody you don't want in your life permanently, then you better strap it up, put on your safety belt, and protect yourself. Or else you're going to end up stuck with a headache for the rest of your life. Black China. Oh yeah, Jamal, but we already know what Black China reason for doing that is. Black China is basically a groupie. That's basically all Black China is a groupie. And all she did was she picked a simp. She picked a simple guy, which was Rob Kardashian, somebody who she knew, she could run game on. She knew he had low self-esteem. She knew he didn't have much confidence. That's why she targeted them. And if you are a man, you lack low self-esteem, you lack confidence, you will make yourself a magnet to a hood rat. You will make yourself a magnet. I don't have a Patreon page. I'm trying to work on that arrow one. Believe it or not, I'm trying to work on it. I'm trying to learn how to do it. It's a little hard, but I'm working on it. Trust and believe, I'm working on it. I'm going to have to get up with one of my other guys who have their channels so they could work with me on it. But yeah, only thing I have until now is just my PayPal and my Facebook or whatever. But I'm working on it. Trust and believe, I'm working on it. Yeah, but if you are a man, you I always tell people you could tell a whole lot about a man based on the type of woman he chooses. You know, you could tell a whole lot about a man. You could tell a whole lot. Yeah, of course it's money. Jamal, absolutely it was money. That's what the majority of these women are having these babies for. It's all, babies are becoming deposits. Babies are becoming bank deposits. Let's see. My coworker did that, got pregnant, and put his ass out and got full custody. Then turn around and yeah, I'm telling you, Devonna, it's all kind of, they got all type of tricks out there. I'm telling you, it's all kind of tricks. That's why you have to be hip to the game, because there's so much game out there, y'all. I'm telling y'all, there's so much game on so many different levels, you know. And you know, I'm ashamed to say that, you know, it's too many women who take no pride in being women. You know, we have just allowed ourselves to just, you know, produce and procreate with any and everybody for a paycheck, not understanding, you know, the truth of the matter. You know, pregnant used to be a beautiful thing. You know, women used to get pregnant to keep their husband's legacy alive. That's basically what pregnancy used to be about. Pregnancy was, you first get married, okay, have a family, give that child your husband's last name so y'all can raise that child together, build a legacy together. And even after you and him are long gone, your children can still, utilize your name. Your that legacy will still be built from generations to come. And unfortunately, this world, society has done all away with that. Pregnancy is not about building a legacy anymore. Pregnancy has basically become a booby trap and a paycheck. That's what it boils down to. And what a lot of these women find out, even when you get the paycheck, as the child gets older, they ask questions. They want a connection with their father. They want to know about their dad. They go to these school plays and they see other kids' dads are coming around with their moms, or they're in the street and see other kids playing with their dads. And because you had a child from a random dude, you cheating your child out of that. Your child would never have the real type of father, or your child would never have the real type of mother, when you are just having children with people that you're not even in a relationship with. Y'all are not building a family. Y'all are just having children. That's basically what it boils down to. You're just having children. You're not building a family. That is not the same thing. Anybody can have children, but building a family, that's a whole horse of another color. I can't speak for everybody else, but when I had my child, I wanted my child to be from a man that I was married to, I was in a relationship with. I wanted my daughter to have the benefits of having me and her father within the same home. That's what I wanted for her. Because, granted, my mom was a wonderful single mom. She took care of us. We never wanted for anything. All of us are successful today within our own right. None of us are in prison. None of us got criminal records and everything. And the thing is, I saw what my mom had to go through, taking care of all of us. And even though our dads was active dads, they would get us during the summer, get us on the weekends. My mom didn't have to beg any of our fathers to be there for us. They was there for us, but at the same time, she didn't make it complicated for them to be there. She never stopped them, and she never put any restrictions on how often they could be there and when they could be there. So I was blessed to have that kind of mother. But I seen the struggle, and I just did not want that for myself. I did not want my daughter to have a weekend dad or a holiday dad. I wanted her to have a father in her home that she can talk to and have a relationship with. So, it just depends on your morals and your values and what you believe in. If you want the best for your children, you're going to do whatever it takes to make sure of that. And that's what all it boils down to. I'm not saying your life is less than perfect if you're not married, this and that. But what I'm saying is, you want your child to be blessed by your decisions. You don't want your children to suffer based on your poor choices. That's basically what I'm insinuating. Man, child support. She wants you to pay your bill and be done. Yeah, basically, until she gets in a situation, Jamal, where she realizes money doesn't always count. She gets in a situation where that child gets disrespectful, gets out of hand. That child ends up in juvenile. That child ends up, in prison. It's always going to be a harsh reality check that's going to show you that money isn't everything. And that's the thing. We're in a society where people, we put so much emphasis on money. And, I understand that money is important. We all need money. That's a tool, unfortunately, you have to have in order to make it in this world. You're not going to make it off your good looks. You have to have money. But people think money is so important until you get in a situation where money can't change. Money can't fix certain stuff. I know a woman now, she's always allowed her son to be disrespectful. She's always allowed her son to carry himself very manly at such a young age. This young man never had any respect for adults. He was always put out of school. He was always in and out of the juvenile system. I mean, when your child, you can always tell when somebody's going to have a troubled child. I mean, it's right there. All the signs start showing early. This young man, everybody knew he was going to be troubled because she allowed this young man she allowed him to act so manly at such a young age. He was already having sex at 12 or 13 years old. I mean, she allowed this son of hers to take pictures on her Facebook page with his shirt off, acting like her son is her boyfriend. Oh, isn't my son so sexy and this and that, which is weird to me. Sound like some kind of incest going on, but that's a whole nother thing. But this same son that she produced, ended up murdering somebody else's child. And they got a court date coming up in a couple of months. And he's never been to prison before in his life, and unfortunately, he's going to end up in prison. And the bad part is his father was in his life. I mean, his father was there, interacting and intervening. But being that she was the one that had primary custody, the majority of the custody, she did not teach her son anything. And the father, he was limited. It was but so much he could do because he was the non-custodial parent. And when you are the non-custodial parent, you are limited in your rights and you are limited in your authority. That is the way state has designed it when it comes to child support. And basically, the son being under her care, now his life is ruined. This young man is only 16 years old when he just turned 17 and he's going to prison for murdering somebody. It's sad, but stuff like this happens every day. Yeah, of course, Harvey. I've stated that several times. A lot of people. You have a lot of women, unfortunately, who automatically feel like because they have children, it gives them a sense of entitlement. We place too much praises on single mothers. And I'm not saying because you are a single mother, you should feel ashamed. You should feel less of a woman. I'm not stating that. I know some single mothers who have very successful children, who are lawyers, who are doctors, but that's not many. We're talking about like maybe 2 out of 10,000. I'm giving facts from the majority, not the minority. You know what I mean? So my thing is, it's too many women who think they have a sense of entitlement because they have children. It doesn't make you a good mother because the state has rewarded you for primary custody. It just means that the state is stating that being that the children are living with you, you are the one who really has more authority. It doesn't mean you're a better parent. That's the difference. And a lot of people are not understanding that. Good to claim a ratchet title. Baby. Yeah, baby mama, baby daddy. I mean, yeah, I agree, Devanya. Yeah, is that's part of the, that's killing. That's part of the reason we have dysfunctional family units. There's no structure in these households, and I'm gonna play devil's advocate because I'm gonna have to ride some of you guys too. Some of you guys, you get so wrapped up in the working and providing for your households that you forget to be a father. And you forget to be a dad sometimes. It's nothing wrong with paying the bills and making sure your family eat, making sure the mortgage is paid, but you can't get so consumed in providing that you forget to be a father. And that's important too, because I know some instances where a child was raised with mother and father, and that child still went astray because the father was too concerned with paying the bills and making sure the family was eating good. Other than that, soon as daddy gets home, he takes off his shoes, changes his work clothes, takes a hot shower, fixes him a plate of food, plops down on his lazy boy, and that's it. He won't go and check on the children, ask them how your day was in school, how you doing. You'll be surprised how many men who are in the same households with their children and have a mute relationship. The children and the father don't interact, don't communicate at all. So you have some fathers that are there, but that don't mean they really present. So at the same time, as dads, that y'all have a role that y'all have to play as well. But again, that's if y'all are under the same roof. But as far as if you and the mother aren't together, and she's the one that has primary custody, and she will not allow you to be there, she will not allow you to connect with this child and have a relationship with this child, then guess what? Don't force it. Do not force it. Don't force it. Don't force yourself to be somewhere where she's not giving you the privilege to be. And it does not make you less of a man or it doesn't make you less of a man because you're not there for your child. The point of the matter is, if you tried to be there and based on her own motives, she intervened in that, then you have nothing to feel guilty about. Only way you should feel guilty if you could have been there and you wasn't. Because my thing is, I'm not about to tolerate all type of disrespect just to try to get what I want from you. I'm just not in the business of doing that, and it's sad. But a lot of men have had to walk away from their own children because some of these women are just too nasty and too difficult and too complicated. You want to cause a scene. You want to cause a scene every time this man wants to be in his child's life. You want to make trouble, especially if you're not doing good in your situation. Let him not be doing good, and let you not be doing good. You struggling, you not get anywhere, and because he's in a better place for the moment, he's doing good, he's in a relationship, it look like he's growing, look like he is elevating, and you're not. You're bitter about that. So you want to allow the child to have a relationship with the father because he doing good, when you're not realizing that your child could be benefiting off his goodness. If the father of your child is doing good, he got a good job, he got a good wife, he got a nice home, why not allow your child to enjoy that? Why keep your child from that? You want to not allow this man to pick this child up or to see this child because you don't want to be faced with his success? You don't want to have to deal with his happiness? I think it's pretty petty, because if you're happy in your situation, you're not worried about if he's doing good or not, because you got you. You know what I'm saying? You're not worrying about, you got no reason to be bitter or hold any grudges against him, because you're in a good place. You good. You making your own bread. You stay in a nice home. You got you a nice, good relationship, a good dude. Or let's say if you're a single woman, you handling your business, but you straight, you got your own happiness. You don't have time to be reflecting on what your child's father doing. That you don't have time to be sitting up here. If I'm happy with me, I don't care about what my ex is doing with the next, because I am happy with my life. But these bitter bitches out here, of course y'all gonna feel some type of way. You have too much time on your hands. That's why you keep reflecting on what the next man is doing. And excuse my French, because now I don't consider all women a bitches. I don't. And me, even being a woman, I can be a bitch at times. I'll say that. I can be a bitch. But I know when to turn it down. I know when to turn it up, and I know when to turn it down. Some of y'all have no damn filter. Just bitchy all the time. Just mean, nasty, difficult, complicated because you're not where you want to be in life. And you done made some poor choices that you can't take back. And instead of you doing something to better yourself or to make your life easier, you'd rather be a bitter beast about it. And you're going to stay miserable because all the energy you're putting into hating this man who you chose as the father, you blocking your own blessings. And the truth of the matter is, it don't matter if you got a connection with that child. A woman is not going to be able to keep that child away from you. It don't matter what. Because trust and believe, that child is going to say, where's my dad? I want to see my dad. Because that child don't know how to not look for a father if they know they have one. You feel what I'm saying? So sometimes you got to let people have what they want just for them to see, okay, if you want to have it all of yourself, I'm going to let you have it all of yourself. But the moment it gets too much, don't try to flip back on this side and now you want my assistance. Only way I'm going to deal with you, you're going to have to come back on my terms like I wanted. Starting with, we're going to have to do joint custody. Because you got some women, they want to make the rules as they go. Depending on where they are in life, if they in a good moment, now they want you to be there. If they in a bad moment, now they don't want you to be there. The moment she start taking you through all kind of changes to see your child, stop kissing her behind. Stop kissing her behind. Stop begging her to have a relationship with your own child. You should not have to beg another woman or to beg a man to let you have a relationship with your child. If it comes to the point when you are begging, I advise you to back up and let them do it by themselves. If you want to be superwoman and you figure you don't need me, you figure I don't have a purpose in my child's life, then go ahead and be the big bad wolf and you do it by yourself. Because sometimes you have to leave people alone for them to appreciate your presence. Long as you there begging and you crying and you running behind them, I want to see my son, I want to see my daughter. Some women get a kick out of making you miserable and taunting you with it. Stop giving somebody the advantage to keep taunting you, with your own damn child. If they're going to be nasty, difficult, and complicated, leave them alone and walk the hell away. Now, I'm not going to say it's not going to hurt like a knife. I'm going to be lying to you. But sometimes you got to pull the trigger to get the results you want. Because sometimes kissing ass don't always pay off. I'm telling you from personal experience. She want to be a hard ass. Don't want you to be there for your son or your daughter. Leave her to tote the bag by herself. I guarantee you, when it get hard, it get to be too much, and she see what it's like without you, she will learn to appreciate you for being there for her. Stop kissing these women asses about your own damn children. You'll get more peace that way. All you can do is back up, pray about it, and ask God to fix the situation for you. Stop begging these women and stop running behind your own children. And if that child is old enough and they know that they're old enough and where they can speak to you and have a relationship with you, but they want to allow their mama to poison them with being disrespectful to you, then guess what? Leave them alone too. Leave them alone. No child should never disrespect another parent. I don't care how the other parent feels about it. Point blank. I don't care how much me and my husband fight and don't get along. I will not let my daughter disrespect him, and he's not going to let her disrespect me. Bottom line. Because we're supposed to be a team. We're supposed to be a team. And if that person wants to make you feel like you have no relevance, then let them see what it's like. And I'm telling you, it's going to be hard. It's going to kill you to your spirit. You're going to think about your child every second of the day. You're going to worry. You're going to worry about how your child going to feel about you. You're going to worry. You can't worry about that. You deal with that bridge when it's time to cross it. And in the meantime, in between time, you pay your child support. You do what you can. When they there, the moment she not there, drop off a line, just stop by and see them if you can. But if she got it so lockjawed to where every time you want to have a connection with them, you got to go through her every time, oh, hell no. No, because it shouldn't be like that. It should not be like that. Nobody should have to, you shouldn't have to go to war with somebody every time you want a really connection with your child. Hell no. Leave her right there. Let her do it by herself. Let her feel the funk of what it's like to not have a father there. Because let me tell you guys something. We be needing y'all there for us. We do. We do. Don't let no woman fool you for a second that she can handle it by herself. We be needing y'all there. The problem is we allow our bitterness and whatever's going wrong in our current life, we allow it to get in the way of y'all intervening. But let me tell you something. Life can get so bad. Life can get so real to where you have to let your anger go. Because life can get just that bad. It can get just that serious to where, you know, your back can end up against the wall to where you have to let go of that pit bull mentality. And you got to allow that significant other to be there. But how is that person going to understand your purpose and how important you are if you keep kissing their ass? How are they going to see you for who you really are? They're not going to see your value as long as you keep running behind them and chasing them. Let her suffer and deal with it by herself. And then you're going to have some, they'll have the audacity to do it. They'll have the audacity. They'll know they don't even want you there for the child. Know they being mean and nasty and take you through changes. And as soon as they have a problem with that child, they call you. They reach out to you and say, this is going on, that's what's going on. And expect you, because they know you love the child so much, they expect you to drop whatever it is you're doing and run to their aid. Don't do it. Don't do it. I know it's going to hurt you to your spirit. She going to call you and the father in you, or it can go the other way. You know, but it's not too many men that do it. That's why I really can't really speak on men, because I don't know too many brothers that make it hard, that won't let the mother be there. If y'all know something, let me know. I don't know too many guys that do it. But, you know, you have some women, they would not, they don't want you to be there. And when it get bad, or them children really get out of hand, they'll call you out the blue, and the father in you going to drop what you're doing and run. You're going to run because that's the father in you. You're not going to want your child to be in trouble. And, you know, it's going to make you feel bad that you know you need to be there. But if she has disrespected you numerous occasions when you tried to be there, guess what? All bets are off. You have nothing to feel guilty about. Nothing. You don't owe her anything. Only thing you owe her is that child support, and keep it moving. All that extra stuff she calling you about, he acting up in school, don't be running and talking to teachers and stuff for her. Don't do none of that. If you're a badass, do it all by yourself without my help. And that's all I got to say about that. Anyhow, yeah, now Divana, good point. Yeah, if it's something in that extreme, I totally agree. If it's something like that. But even with that, Divana, that's when you as a man, you got to get the courts involved. Because these courts, they favor these women the majority of the time. So even if your child is in a very dangerous case, you better lawyer up. Don't go over there and snatch these children from out her household and she go report you, you know, to the law, and you get in trouble for kidnapping. Even if you suspect that, what you need to do is you need to get evidence. Every time that child comes to you with bruises, that child comes to you, you know, telling you something, you need to record it, and, you know, record it on your phone, take it to the local DFACS, take it to the police, then you do what you got to do. But even with that, you cannot just go and take these children, uproot them, because the way the laws are so screwed up. You got to prove that these women are unfit before you just go uproot these children from their moms. It's messed up that is that way, but that's the way it is. So if you're going to go in like that, you just got to make sure you got all your ducks lined up in a row, because you're going to take them out of an unfit situation. And being that you don't have enough evidence, or you took them the wrong way and you didn't use the proper protocol to do it, your child could end right back up in that same dysfunctional ass situation. So you're right, Divana, but I tell any men that do that, don't take matters in your own hands. That's the best thing I could tell you. Hey, let's talk to them. Yeah, yeah, like I said, when it comes to being a non-custodial parent, your powers are limited. But you never let the other parent make them believe they got so much control over your life, the way they can disrespect you and then use the child to disrespect you. Because at the end of the day, you are a grown man and you are a father and you represent authority, and you don't let nobody strip that of you. Because in the long run, no matter how much that child resents you right now based on what they quote unquote mama is telling them, at the end of the day, it may be years down the line, you'll be the one to get respect. But you can't gain respect if you still up there affiliating with somebody who done taught your child that it's okay to disrespect you. That is not cool. And for you women that are doing that, shame on you. Shame on you that you are poisoning your child not to like their dad or not to respect their father because you in your feelings. Because God forbid, say, I said this before in one of my videos. And that man is wrong if you say, well, no, I don't think so. 193. If you done all you can do and you keep getting disrespected, you are not wrong in walking away. No, you are not. And anybody who disagrees with that, I can respect your opinion. But I'm like this. I'm just not in the business. I'm just different. I'm just not in the business of kissing ass. Especially when I know I'm being a reasonable person. I'm reasonable. I've tried everything. And no matter what I do, you still disrespecting me. I'm just not in the business. I'm just not. That's just me. I'm just not about to just. I'm not about to take all kind of stuff to be in a position where you know you need me to be there, but you don't respect me as the parent that I am to allow me to have a connection with my child. Then so be it. Cause guess what? I'm gonna tell y'all why. So y'all can understand why I say that. My thing is, say if you do try to be there. Say if you're one of those fathers, you willing to take the disrespect, you willing to take all the backlash, because some of us got more patience than others. Even if you do decide to still remain in a situation where you're being disrespected, it still hinders you from being the father that you need to be. Because basically what you're doing is you're teaching that child, no matter how much your mother is teaching you to disrespect me, I'ma still be there for you. Why would you want to give that child that kind of indication? That is bad enough, the mother disrespecting you, so you gonna let the child think it's okay to do it too? Absolutely not. So to answer your question, 193, no, you won't be. If you had a relationship with that child, believe me, you can move to Africa. You're going to always be that father's child. It don't matter. Until somebody comes back to you correct, that child come to you correct and say, Daddy, I apologize. I see mama for who she is. Or that woman calls you and say, you know what? I was wrong for allowing my business to get in the way of you having a relationship with your child. Unless one of them say that, hell no. You're not wrong for it. You are not wrong. And that's my opinion. If you know you tried to be there. Now, if you ain't been there, now you on some other BS now. Now you wrong now. Now, if she being cooperative and she telling you can come over, she telling you can come get them, and she ain't making your life miserable, and you just not being there, then that's on you. Because the opportunity, she's giving it to you. But for them other ones, no. No, you do not. You don't owe that. There's no point in making your life miserable trying to be there for your children. I guarantee you, you do what I say, take my advice, you'll get better results. And if it's work kissing ass, let me know. If kissing your the butt of your child's mother has worked for you, please comment and let me know, and I won't give no my advice. If kissing ass is working for you, let me know it's working. Oh goodness, no problem. 193. I'm just gonna keep it real, and I'm telling you from a woman's perspective, because I know how the majority of women think. Again, it's all about, you got to let people see your presence. It's no different. It's no different than you on a job. Let me give y'all another analogy. Let me see this comment. Your kids will always find you if they choose to. Exactly, Devonna. Good point, Devonna. Good point. Devonna says your kids will always find you if they choose to after they leave their mama house. Exactly. They'll find you. And it may be better. Because they'll be out their mama house then and you ain't got to deal with that middleman. They'll find you in due time. I know T193. I'm like this. If you a good dude for the most part and your kids know you was around for the most part, they'll find you. Because even me, my biological dad, even though the situation wasn't that my mom tried to keep him away from me, Papa was just a rolling stone or whatever. Put it that way. Because my dad got a couple of kids or whatever. But, I went and I found them on my own, because that at the end of the day, and I got a wonderful stepdad. My stepdad is awesome. But I still wanted to meet my dad. When I got old enough to meet him, I went to go meet him, and sometimes when kids get older, they could relate a little bit more because you never know, T193. Your child may end up going through the same thing you done went through with the mama, and they may end up needing your damn advice. You may have to be the one to say, yes, son, yeah, daughter, I know, because your mama took me through it. You will be surprised how things have a way of repeating itself. Yeah, your children will find you. They get old enough, they'll find you. Sometimes you got to let the chips fall where they may. That's just something that's just something you have. That's just something you have to do. You cannot be the best parent you can be when you have somebody that's playing mind games with your children. And like I said, everybody's situation is different. If you just one of them fathers that you can block out, you can tune out, because my husband had patience of a damn. My husband had patience of the snail, I tell you. My husband's ex-wife had just did so much stuff to just try to make things difficult, but despite he just never, he's always been one of them guys. He doesn't emotionally allow what her actions has just never made him that mad to the point to where he just had to walk away, but like I said, it all depends. Everybody's situation is different, but I'm saying some of these women are too much. Some women are too much. That's why I don't even have female friends. I can't even deal with women, and I'm a woman. I can't even deal with some of these women. Some women is just too much. They too extra. They just too dramatic. That's why I don't hardly have any female friends. I can't even deal with women, so it'd be hypocritical of me to sit up there and tell another man, well, you got to learn how to be there for your child. You just got to learn how to deal with it. No, you don't have to deal with nothing. I've heard people say that, and I disagree. I've heard people say, well, that's the mother, that's the father, you got to deal. No, you don't. You don't have to deal. You don't have to deal. Now, there may be cases where you might have to deal, like, if that child, gets sick or get hurt, then you might have to put all your pride aside. And, but for the most part, I just don't like dealing with unreasonable people who abuse their authority. And the moment I feel like you abusing too much of your authority with me, I just don't want to deal with you. It's no different, as the example I was getting ready to say, it's no different than being on a job. You're on a job, you're a good employee, you come in on time, you never late, you do your job. The boss never has to come to you 3-4 times and beg you to do your job. You do your job. And no matter how good you do your job, that boss is unappreciative, does not know how to say thank you, does not know how to show you any type of appreciation, even though that is your job to do what you're supposed to do. Every now and then you want to hear thank you, I appreciate it, whatever. Same thing with being a parent. Even though that's your job, you still want to feel like you being appreciated. You still want to feel more so respected. Respect more than appreciation. Respect is more important than appreciation. If you never appreciate what I do, at least respect what I do. And the main thing is that person has to respect. When a person starts losing respect for you, you want to have to shut it down regardless, because it's just going to get worse. It's going to get more and more and more out of hand, to the point to where they're going to teach your child how to disrespect you. And that's what happens in a lot of cases, you know. And that's what I was stating. If you're on a job and you're doing your job, and the boss gets in the habit of disrespecting you and challenging your manhood or challenging your womanhood, what are you going to do? You're going to keep staying on that job. You may stay on the job for a while. You may try to deal with it and say, well, this is my job. Well, I got to make my money. But as the disrespect gets worse, sooner or later you're going to quit that job, because at the end of the day, you a goddamn human being. You know, you want to be treated with respect. So that's why I speak so strongly on this. I'm not telling men to just walk out their child's life. That is not what I'm saying. I'm not telling women to just walk out of their child's life, to just be a deadbeat. That's not what I'm saying. I don't want anybody to take that indication. What I'm saying is, if you have tried to be a good mother, a good father, and the parent who has primary custody is not being reasonable, they're disrespectful, they're talking to you all kind of way, they act like you don't have a real purpose, you don't have a real significance in that child's life, they act like it's okay to handle you and disrespect you and treat you all kind of way, even though you want to be there for that child, and they treating you like you ain't worth stir-fried crap, then no, you don't have to be there. And that's just something you're going to have to take up with God. You're going to have to pray on it, and just, you know, when that child gets old enough, you just deal with it then. You know, you just going to have to deal with it when it's time to cross that bridge. But anyway, on that note, you know, I felt it was just very imperative, you know, that I discussed this subject about, you know, dysfunctional families and generational curses. And a lot of it has to do with the foundation of these families, which is why we have so much dysfunction and generational curses, because the dynamics of families have changed. There's no structure. The women are not teaching their daughters how to be women. The fathers are not teaching their sons how to be men, you know. There's too many single parent households. The mother is not allowing the father to have a connection with the children. In some cases, the father is abuses his power and won't let the mother, you know, have a connection with the children. It's more women that do it though, but still, it's always cases in which some men do it too, you know. And the thing is, it's imperative that both parents have good communication, have a good understanding when it comes to the well-being of these children. If not, you're going to plant a seed of a generational curse in your family tree. You're planting that seed because you're not allowing that child to benefit by having the both of y'all there within, within that child's presence. Yeah. And that's definitely facts, Darius. Being disrespected is a cancer that destroys the soul. Nobody likes to be disrespected. What's up, Jay Lamar? How you doing? Thank you for tuning in with me at Cafe de Paris. Yes, thank you. We're talking about dysfunctional families and generational curses, you know, and I know I'm getting ready to wrap things up in a little while, y'all, but I felt it was very imperative that I shared this with you, is because there's too many black families that are losing on a losing end. We have a generation of children that are coming up struggling, you know, they are, you know, becoming parents at a young age. You know, we have our young sons ending up in the criminal justice, correctional systems. You know, it's a lot of issues that we have at hand because the dynamics of family has changed. There's so much dysfunction within families, you know. These children are not getting the proper teaching from both parents, because one parent doesn't allow another parent to be there, all because they have some bitterness or resentment from issues in the past. So it's a lot of factors that are playing into dysfunctional families and generational curses. But you know, on that note, it has definitely been wonderful rocking out with all of y'all here at Cafe de Paris. For all of y'all who didn't get a chance to tune in, I have recently uploaded my last video. I don't know if y'all had a chance to take a look at it. Hell, I can't remember the name of the video that I did. I'm going to see if I can try to look it up for y'all. But I just recently uploaded a video. As I told all of y'all, thanks to my donations, thanks to, everybody support my channel and everything. I've been able to get my videos back uploaded and rolling. I'm able to record and everything all over again, thanks to all of you for the donations and everything. So I finally got a better camera. I finally got a laptop. Thank all of you so much for supporting me. Believe me, every penny counted. Every dollar, every $2, all of it made a difference. And I thank all of y'all so much. The last video I uploaded was dealing with side chicks can be deadly. If y'all didn't get a chance, make sure y'all check that out. I put a lot of knowledgeable information into that. It was actually a very interesting story that I covered about dealing with side chicks can be deadly. So I'm going to post the link right now to all of you who didn't get a chance. Yeah, I know, Jay Lamar. It's my fault because I should have forewarned y'all that I was going to do do a live chat. I didn't warn you, so that's my fault. I'm trying to get better at doing that. I'm trying not to be so impulsive, but sometimes I got to squeeze in because it seems like, I don't know about y'all, but every time I try to plan something, it never works. It seems like things work out better when I don't plan anything. But make sure y'all hit the notification bell. If you hit the notification bell, you will see when I go live. You'll see as soon as I go on there when I'm going live. So make sure you hit the notification bell. That way you guys don't miss out, because I like the RS, baby. You never know when I'm going to show up. On that note, I want to thank all of y'all for tuning in with me. Y'all have been so wonderful. Y'all have been so supportive. I thank y'all for sharing, subscribing, and liking my channel. As another child. Yeah, exactly, Steve Austin. Yeah, that's what's called generational curses. A lot of these patterns that are occurring right now within this generation is patterns that was already embedded in the family tree. So, on that note, I want to thank all of y'all for tuning in with me at Cafe de Paris. It is your girl, Lady Mocha, your diva in knowledge. Remember, I'm going to always pour you a cup of truth, and I'm going to always break you off a slice of knowledge and spiritual awareness. Y'all have a wonderful day, and I'll try to make sure next time I will upload y'all and hit that, well, I will notify y'all before my next upload, and hit that notification bell so as soon as I upload, you'll be the first to know about it, okay? I love all of y'all so much. Thank you for y'all support, and y'all have a wonderful and blessed day. I'm off like a prom dress. Bye.